So I don't think people realize what is waiting for us on the end of this market cycle as we're surging to bull market highs, as we're getting into mass adoption, and as supply shock is truly hitting ADA in a big way. We've seen some hints of it already, but there's one final thing that we're waiting on in terms of ADA, which is going to make this very sharp movement in price a big reality. And I want to talk about this with you guys. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. Again, it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So ADA's kind of following what we talked about earlier today. We're making a nice little push. We're working through some of that short leverage liquidations, and that's all looking very good right now. I'd love if this continues and we continue to see ADA push towards this $1.25 level and start our breakout. That's all a reality over the course of potentially the next few days. Again, hopefully a good CPI report coming this morning. This is being filmed before that. So looks like anticipation is building and hopefully price just keeps running that direction. But the biggest thing I talk about all the time in terms of ADA, in terms of SHIB, is supply shock. And some people just close their ears. They go, la, 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 la. Some people say it's not possible. The supply is too big. But I don't think people understand what's actually taking place. And there's actually a very good visual that shows actually what's been happening since the height of the last market cycle. And in fact, over the last 5 weeks, we have seen over $500 million worth of ADA actually removed from exchanges. So this is actually exchange inflows and outflows. And we are seeing a very consistent trend even from the last bull market cycle. And what this is this removal of supply, removal of supply, removal of supply. Now, obviously, during the bear market cycle, there wasn't really a whole lot going on. Price was kind of boring, just chopping around, and frankly, it was really boring. I'm sure a lot of people can agree with that. And now that things have heated up in the early part of the bull market cycle, we're seeing the very consistent trend that we saw even from the height of the last bull market cycle. And this is this removal of supply from exchanges. Now, there have been some pretty modest weeks, $5 million, $15 million, whatever. But you guys can see that, for example, the last 4 weeks have been, almost over $100 million a week. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if this week is over $100 million as well. So we're having this very consistent removal of supply from exchanges. And why that is a big deal is when people are pulling ADA off exchanges and moving it into DeFi, it usually means one thing, that they're planning for the long term. They're putting it in cold storage because most liquidity is on exchanges. It's where the most trading takes place. And it's where the least impact and slippage on price will occur, right? And actually, when you off ramp to the Cardano ecosystem, there's not really a way to park it in like another stable or something like that right now because Cardano doesn't have a massive stable coin, right? So this will actually affect ADA in a much bigger way than it would another asset going through something similar. Obviously, like I said, I talk about Shiba Inu a bunch, and that's something completely different, but they have a resilient community as well, like the Cardano community is. So now we've gotten to this point where, again, ADA is one of the longest average held assets in all of crypto. People tend to accumulate and just hodl. And really the big thing we've been waiting for is volume. We've been waiting for an increase in volume. And if you guys haven't noticed, right, we saw this massive increase in the removal of supply from exchanges basically since the election. And during that same time, that is also when we saw an increase in volume. We're talking, two to like, what was it? $7 billion per day. All right. Now, what's interesting about this is we need to ask ourselves this question. What is going to happen when volume is higher? All right. For example, if you compare this to 2020, you guys can see that though the days around this time of year were 500 million, maybe $1 billion day here and there, 1.2 billion, 2 billion, right? So what are things going to look like? Excuse me. What are things going to look like when we start getting into the days of 10 billion, 15 billion, 20 billion and higher? Because again, now we're getting into bigger times of adoption. Retail loves ADA, and they continue to have the same trends time and time again, meaning that ADA is going to get hit with a very large amount of volume. And frankly, if there is not that much available supply to go around, because guess what? People keep buying it and hodling it. They're not sending it back to exchanges. I mean, for example, since the height of the last market cycle, the highest inflow week we had to exchanges was this one here of $12.12 million. That's tiny. All right. So when you have this high volume, when you have high buying, when you have FOMO hitting, it's going to cause ADA price to do some pretty insane things. All right. Now, this isn't a guarantee. This isn't financial advice or anything like that, but it's math. All right. This is exactly how it works. This is exactly how asset prices run wild. And this is why I've said it wouldn't surprise me if ADA gets to a $500 billion market cap. That would not be surprising at all from the fundamentals that we're seeing, the metrics that we're seeing, the developments that we've seen, the potential embrace from enterprises and governments. I mean, all these things are kind of working together perfectly to create this huge boom in ADA price. This is why, although ADA is we'll call it a legacy coin because it's been around for obviously a very long period of time now, since 2017. That's why, despite being a legacy coin, despite being, a $37 billion market cap, it's still going to be able to move like some of the, $2 to $5 billion assets in the space. It's going to be quite the astonishing thing. And what we, again, need to do is just be patient and let this play out. Let us get to times of higher adoption, of higher volume, because they will be coming. They're just later on in the market cycle. So that's why the biggest thing I preach is patience. There will be a point where this impacts price in a much, much bigger way than it is right now. We obviously saw it push ADA price to $1. It's the big reason why it moved so quickly. But just think about what, again, that means in thinner levels of liquidity, higher amounts of users, higher amounts of volume. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Again, if you're new or haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell, and then make sure you guys hit that like too. Let me know you're enjoying the content we're making here on the channel. But have a great day. Show your love below. Let me know your thoughts. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.